Good afternoon, and welcome to Live Healthy Miami Gardens Facebook Live Health and Wellness Series, brought to you by the City of Miami Gardens, Live Healthy Miami Gardens. Our goal is to bring our community information and resources to help us make the healthiest choices possible for ourselves as a Miami Gardens community and our families. My name is KeTia Harris. I'm Community Health Data Specialist at JTCHS Community Health System, Program Manager of our Breastfeeding Touchpoint Program based out of Miami Gardens, and member of Live Healthy Miami Gardens, as well as your host for today. Live Healthy Miami Gardens was born from the realization that although health is largely influenced by our individual choices, the conditions in the communities where we live, learn, work, worship, and play are also major contributing factors to the racial and ethnic disparities and healthcare disparities faced, as well as our overall ability to make healthier choices. We know that these conditions are systemic, historical, and continue to impact us as communities of color and a whole here and now. Live Healthy Miami Gardens is a community initiative and part of the city's efforts to address these conditions and reduce poor health outcomes through the transformation of policies, our environment, and the healthcare system overall, making the City of Miami Gardens a healthier place to be. Today's Facebook Live is on the winning recipe for Florida Impact to End Hunger's Miami Gardens Healthy Corner Store's Healthy Recipe Contest, Maternal Health Edition with JTCHS Community Health System, with beans or legumes as the key ingredient for this round. To discuss Florida Impact's Healthy Retail Initiative out of Miami Gardens, which hosts this recipe contest, is Sam Hopwood, Florida Impact's Regional Director of South Florida. Hi, Sam.
Hi, KeTia. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for having me. As KeTia said, my name is Sam Hopwood. I'm the South Florida Regional Director for Florida Impact to End Hunger, and I'm also a member of Live Healthy Miami Gardens. I've been with Florida Impact now for almost 4 years. Started out as an intern while I was at completed my master's in public health, where I did a white paper focusing on access to school breakfast and some alternative delivery models like breakfast in the classroom. A little bit of background, I'm originally from the UK. I moved to California in 2000, did my undergrad in New Mexico, and I've been in Miami now since 2016. And that's a little about me.
All right, I appreciate that. So what is Florida Impact to End Hunger?
Yeah, Florida Impact to End Hunger is a statewide nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing health equity by ending hunger for all Floridians. We mobilize communities to maximize access to federal, state, and local food and nutrition programs with a focus on Florida's most vulnerable populations. Since 1979, our organization has helped community leaders secure more responsive public programs and policies to address hunger. We focus primarily on federal nutrition programs such as school meals and SNAP. And in Miami Gardens, we've been working most recently on a healthy grocery initiative, such as our Healthy Corner Store project, looking to increase access to fresh, healthy options for residents. Overall, our work is about ensuring individuals and families have access to the nutritious foods they need to live a happy and healthy life. We do this by advocating at the local, state, and federal level for improvements to the nutrition safety net programs. And we work locally to identify opportunities to expand these programs and then connect people to the programs where they can access food. Our work is really all about supporting communities, so we're always looking for opportunities to engage with residents about their experiences and ideas, which we may be able to turn into policy change. Miami Gardens and the Live Healthy Miami Gardens initiative have played a huge role in making this happen locally.
Thank you. And I appreciate you sharing that information. And good afternoon, Ingrid. So before we move forward to discuss and share the winning recipe, can you tell us a little bit more about the Healthy Recipe Contest, how a winning recipe can get submitted in the future, and what does the winning recipe receive, or the recipient of the winning recipe receive?
Yeah, so our Healthy Recipe Contest is part of our Healthy Corner Stores initiative. Every month, we like to choose a signature ingredient. We've done avocados, corn, beans in the past. And basically what we're looking for is healthy twists on classic recipes. We've had some really great recipes. And if you're interested in participating, there's a simple Google form at floridahealthyretail.org/contest. That's floridahealthyretail.org/contest. You just submit your recipe, a little bit of information about yourself and where the recipe came from, maybe a picture if you had it. And then we work within Live Healthy Miami Gardens to select a winner at the end of the month. And then that winner will receive a $25 gift card to use, hopefully in Miami Gardens, but wherever you choose to use it. And then we like to, when we can, bring on the winner onto Facebook Live and maybe work through the recipe ourselves.
Okay. And again, this is in collaboration with, just to share with our viewers and our community, this is in collaboration with JTCHS and our Breastfeeding Touchpoint Program, which aims to increase continuity of care and support for breastfeeding by incorporating lactation support services into existing community services, establishing services that are culturally appropriate for our community, and professional development training. So, and with that said, we matched the 25, so our recipient will be receiving $50 for July. So using the key ingredient of beans and legumes, and I'm so sorry if I keep mispronouncing that. I try to work with Google to make sure I get the right pronunciation. The winning healthy recipe for July is a lentil and sweet potato soup by Esther McCann, who is no stranger to the Facebook Live breastfeeding masterclasses, as she has joined us as CEO of Metro Mommy Agency, as Education and Communications Coordinator for the Jasmine Project out of Miami Gardens, and who has most recently joined us with her husband to discuss their own breastfeeding journey with their four boys. So I just want to congratulate Esther and thank you for your submission. I can't wait to try it once I'm done with this keto. And thank you for all who shared interest in this contest. So I'm just going to go over, review the ingredients for this rich, flavorful lentil and sweet potato soup, which includes a bag of dry lentils, 1 or 2 sweet potatoes, a half onion chopped, 3 long organic carrots, 4 cups of vegetable broth, a stalk of organic celery, and you can also buy the celery saw in the spices section, a half teaspoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and 3 tablespoons of Indian curry spices, in which you'll add to a pot and simmer on medium-low for about 30 to 40 minutes on the stove until the lentils are tender. You can also make this in a crock pot, but of course the directions may vary depending on the crock pot you use, on however you may modify the recipe altogether. And this makes about 6 servings, so this will be good for a nice lunch, a nice dinner. Knowing me, I might break this out for breakfast. Who knows? And the recipe is also vegan, but I can almost guarantee you that the chicken won't be missed on this one at all. So Sam, as we discussed, Esther couldn't join us today, but did agree to provide us an overview of the recipe. I was wondering if you would like to share her response.
Sure. So it's been really great hearing you go through the recipe there. I haven't had lunch yet, so now I'm starving. And I was planning on making this recipe later in the week. So I've got the ingredients, and maybe when we get off here, I can give it a go.
Yeah.
My cooking skills aren't great, but this looks simple to do. I'm sure anyone can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to Esther on winning this competition and participating. We really appreciate that. And thanks to KeTia for partnering on this. This has been an awesome opportunity to work together. So as KeTia said, Esther isn't able to join us, unfortunately, today, but she did leave a comment, so I'm just going to read that out. In first person from her perspective. Is not my idea. So Esther said, I use this recipe over a stovetop or with a crock pot to save time. The beautiful thing about lentils is that they cook rather quickly, and this recipe freezes pretty well. Also, for those families with children, this is a recipe that goes pretty well as a protein-rich stew paired with a cooked carb like quinoa or a complex starch like brown rice or wild rice. For more complexity to the colors on your plate, add more greens like spinach or kale. If anyone wants to kick it up a notch and add some spice, which personally I really don't, but Esther recommends Scotch bonnet pepper or red pepper flakes. And as always, salt to taste, but she highly recommends sea salt versus regular table salt.
Nice. And thank you, Esther. Again, thank you, Sam, for sharing that, reading that. So what about this dish makes it a winning recipe?
So we really appreciated Esther's recipe for the lentil soup with sweet potato. Obviously, it checked the box, the most basic box of incorporating our signature ingredient for July, beans or legumes. However, there were a few more factors which really made this the winning recipe for us. Oftentimes, people equate healthy with bland or unappetizing, and that's just not true. And this recipe really stands out as it looks and sounds delicious, and it's, as I said, on my menu for later this week. I'll have to do a follow-up session with you to let you know how that goes. Other reasons include its simplicity, requiring just a few ingredients. It's got a simple procedure. It's definitely something which can be made very easily after work or during a busy day. It's also an affordable recipe. One of the things that we look for in the contest is making sure that the ingredients can easily be found for a low cost at a variety of retailers in the city. We know that with the healthy corner stores we're working with, most of these ingredients are also available there. Things like lentils, very common, beans, very common to find, even if you have to go the canned route for the beans in the corner stores. So we appreciated also that it was a vegetarian recipe, perfect for those of us who maybe are participating in Meatless Mondays or just want to reduce our meat consumption in general. Those lentils really pack a lot of protein with very little fat, which makes them a healthier substitute for meat. So really, there were a lot of reasons why this recipe was selected. I really hope everyone gives it a try. And again, you can find the details for it at floridahealthyretail.org/contest alongside some of our other past winners and future competitions.
Thank you. And I know before this, of course, you and I went through some other potential key ingredients for the maternal health edition. So even with those shared, because I know we discussed eggs, we discussed leafy greens. I personally was geared for some salmon. Why? Can you share with our community how we decided on beans for this month's key ingredient?
Yeah, so I think I'll speak for myself that I've definitely wanted to work with you, KeTia, and with the Jesse Trice team, and we've been looking for opportunities to collaborate, and this was a really exciting opportunity. And as you said, it took us a little while to figure out which ingredient we wanted to go through. We had some crazy ideas and some kind of boring ideas, and we settled on the lentils and beans and legumes. And so we were looking for healthy ingredients that benefit expectant mothers and newer breastfeeding mothers. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, we also wanted to focus on ingredients which are affordable and can often be found in the corner stores that we're working with as part of the Healthy Corner Store Initiative. So this gave us a few ideas. Ultimately, we went with the beans and legumes. They're not particularly glamorous, but it's definitely a robust staple food that can be part of so many different meals.
Right. Thank you. And just to piggyback on that although a breastfeeding baby will receive all their necessary nutrients, nourishments, and antibodies from breastfeeding in his or her first 6 months of life, a breastfeeding mom, however, is using a lot of her own energy and nutrients to make this happen. So with that said, again, I appreciate Sam and Florida Impact for partnering, for allowing us to partner for this month's Healthy Recipe Contest. We want to ensure that the key ingredient is made up with as much vitamins and minerals essential to a breastfeeding mom as possible, or pregnant or postpartum mom as possible. Again, like I said, we consider salmon, which has a lot of DHA, protein, vitamin D, calcium if can. But then we notice out of all of those, between the nutritive value as well as the convenience and affordability, that beans were the best option for the sake of this recipe contest. Now, with all of that said, what are some, if you could just do real basic, what are some of the health benefits of beans?
Well, there are lots, and through this collaboration, I learned a lot, actually. I did the things that I wasn't aware, and so there are lots of health benefits for beans, not just for mothers or expectant mothers, but for the rest of us. So I think the biggest one, obviously, is that beans and legumes are a great source of protein, like I mentioned, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan, trying to avoid meat a little bit. So protein foods, we know, are an important part of anyone's diet, not just breastfeeding or pregnant women. And that doesn't just mean meat. So according to the USDA, For moms who are breastfeeding only, it's recommended to get about 6.5 ounces or 5.5 ounces of if you're doing breastfeeding plus formula of protein, which can be lean meat, poultry, eggs, nuts, or beans that we're talking about. About a quarter cup of cooked beans represents about a 1 ounce serving out of that. Beans are also a great source of fiber. We know that most Americans don't get the recommended 25 to 38 grams of fiber each day. It's really important in keeping you regular and seems to also protect against heart disease, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and digestive illness. So there's a whole lot of different health benefits to beans.
Right. And I'm not a nutritionist by any means, but I did also consult with the Carroll City WIC colleague who did share that although we do have this recipe contest and, the focus is beans, that it's important that that all food groups are incorporated for the pregnant and postpartum mom's diet to ensure that all the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals are received by the breastfeeding mom or mom in general, or family in general. So I think we talked about the convenient and affordable options. I know during a previous conversation, we talked about corner stores accepting SNAP. Do you want to talk about that a little bit, or is it just that corner stores accept SNAP?
Corner stores accept SNAP. It's an excellent point. I'm sure many people are aware that corner stores do often accept SNAP. A lot of customers in corner stores, convenience stores, are using SNAP when they go there. Our role at Florida Impact is to make sure that when you're going there to spend your SNAP dollars, that there are healthy alternatives, that it's not just candy and soda on available to you there, that there's some fruit and vegetables. And we also know from a previous study, sorry, I've got some noise in the background. Can you hear that?
A little bit, but I can still hear you.
I'm going to keep going. So we know that this is really throwing me off. I apologize to everybody. It's also in Spanish now. I'm having a hard time thinking. But our goal is, with the corner stores we're working with, to make sure that healthier options are there and available to people when you want to go. We know that about 20% of residents who responded to a survey we did last year reported that they were using corner stores and convenience stores as their primary source of groceries within the city. 20%, it's not a huge number, but it's a reasonable amount of the population. So if people are going there for groceries, we want to make sure that there are healthy groceries there.
Right. And we appreciate that effort. We appreciate that. So now with beans, I'm noticing all these other great vegetables and spices and healthy starches in Esther's recipe, in this lentil and sweet potato recipe. Did you want to talk briefly about the other ingredients as well?
Yeah, so hopefully the noise has gone in the background. There were a few things actually I wanted to add about beans and legumes that I forgot to mention. Okay. So we know that beans are a great source of folate, which is a B vitamin that helps prevent neural tube defects, serious abnormalities of the brain and spinal cord for the baby. Lentils, as I mentioned, a great source of protein, crucial for baby's growth during pregnancy. Beans, great source of iron. Pregnant mothers need extra iron to make the more blood to supply oxygen to your baby. And eating a variety of beans and legumes is not only good for your general health, but it also ensures that you have a healthy milk supply. So that's beans and legumes. We liked that side of the recipe. Obviously, it included those. But we also liked that there were other vegetables included in the recipe. We know that USDA recommends that half your plate is fruits and vegetables for every meal. That can be fresh, frozen, canned, dried, juice. Making sure you include dark green, red, and orange vegetables, beans and peas, starchy vegetables. And this recipe covers a lot of that by including the carrots and the sweet potatoes. And so we know that while red and orange vegetables have yet to be studied specifically for their galactogog properties, they have been used as lactogenic foods in many cultures around the world for hundreds of years. And then, of course, sweet potatoes are also very fiber rich, as we already mentioned with the lentils.
Okay. And I know you talked a lot. You gave us a lot of information about Florida Impact. And I know you touched on this some, but if you could give us more information about the Florida Healthy Retail versus the Miami Gardens Healthy Corner Store Initiative. Now, I'm sorry, is that the same thing, or can you tell us a little bit about both, if not?
So Florida Impact's work in the healthy retail sphere really began about 3 years ago now, and it started in Miami Gardens with the REACH grant from the CDC that we're working on now. So that's where the Healthy Corner Stores initiative started. That's where we've been working for the longest time now. But one of our goals as we were working on this, we were talking with partners around the state, and we realized that in other cities, we've talked in Gainesville and Jacksonville and Orlando, there are other programs going on that are focusing on healthy retail and on helping make corner stores and grocery stores healthier places to shop. And so the Florida Healthy Retail is just a kind of an umbrella group where we work to bring all of those partners together so that we can share best practices, share ideas that are going on really well, and making this just a more collaborative effort.
Okay. And how does the recipe contest tie into all of this?
So the recipe contest, we want to be able to get residents more involved in the project. So I mentioned earlier that we like to choose ingredients that we know can be found in the corner stores. So we really encourage residents, if they want to participate, that they look through the corner store and see what items are there that are right in their neighborhood that they can get to create a recipe. I think you'll be surprised by what's actually available out there. And you'll be surprised what you can do, with canned fruits and vegetables that are, as long as you watch the sodium and the sugar, can be just as good as fresh or frozen. So we thought that the recipe contest was just a great idea of us collaborating with partners like we did with you, KeTia, this month, and then getting the residents excited about eating healthier in affordable and kind of new ways.
Okay, cool. And what are some other activities? And events that the Miami Gardens Healthy Corner Store Initiative have going on?
So at the moment, we're on a pretty big recruitment drive trying to add new stores to our program. So we've got 7 that have signed on to the initiative that we've been working with. Our goal is to add about 3 more by the end of the year. And so what we're looking for is, if any residents have stores that they regularly go to, or they know a store owner, a store member of staff that we can talk to, that'd be great. We're looking to work with store owners who are part of the community and who are interested in the health and well-being of community members and shoppers that are going to the store. So we're working on that at the moment. We're also, we've just wrapped up a series of focus groups with residents talking about their perceptions of food shopping in Miami Gardens, and really talking about some opportunities around improving grocery shopping experiences, not just in the small stores like I've been talking about, but also in the larger stores, talking about ideas that people would like to see in Miami Gardens, talking about the challenges that there are to accessing healthy foods. So what we're looking for in the next couple of months is to turn those ideas into recommendations and see what kind of change we can make in the city.
Nice. And what should we expect and look out for in the future?
So definitely next month, for those of you who didn't participate in this month's contest, keep an eye out for next month's contest. We haven't selected an ingredient yet. We're still on the hunt for a partner to help us out with it as well. But that's something we'll start in the first week of August. So keep an eye out next week for that at floridahealthyretail.org. Keep an eye out at local corner and convenience stores. When you see the Florida Healthy Retail logo out by the entrance or by the cash register, know that that's a store owner who is committed to working with us and is committed to making healthier options available in their store. We're also looking in the next year to try and increase the number of corner stores that are accepting WIC. I mentioned that most of them, pretty much all of them, accept SNAP at this point, but only a few accept WIC, so we're looking to expand that. And then we're also trying to work with one of our statewide partners on getting the SNAP Double Bucks program, where if you go into a store and buy produce with your SNAP EBT card, then the value of that will be doubled. That's something that you may have already seen at the farmers market. We're looking to bring that to some of the corner stores. And then the last thing I'll add in, because we're quite busy next month, is that we're looking to do one more focus group as kind of a statewide initiative talking about individuals and families' challenges in accessing SNAP. So part of that is an online survey with a chance to win $50 for participating in that. And then the focus group in August, you'll be guaranteed $50 if you're selected for the focus group. And the information for that can be found at floridaimpact.org/SNAP survey. It's floridaimpact.org/SNAP survey. And again, our goal with that part of the project is just to understand challenges around the SNAP or food stamp program in general, and then to see what we can present to the state as recommendations for the next legislative session.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And again, if anyone wants more information or want to get involved, Sam just shared the website as well as the website that's available on the ticker, the ForTheHealthyRetail.org/SNAP survey. That's in the ticker. Any final thoughts?
I, of course, forgot to mention that our Healthy Retail Subcommittee meets every last Wednesday of the month. So tomorrow, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., we'll be meeting on Zoom. Lots of great partners. I'm hoping KeTia is going to be there. No pressure, but you better be there. And we would always like more participants in those meetings. Come and share your ideas. It's on Zoom. You can call in. Don't have to show your face. There's no pressure. If you would like more information on that, my contact information is on all the websites that we've shared for Florida Impact, and you can reach me there and we can share that with you. Other than that, I'll congratulate Esther again on her winning recipe. I'll say thank you to KeTia for partnering on this with us. I am really looking forward to trying this recipe. Check out FloridaHealthyRetail.org to participate next month, to see our old recipes, and to get involved. That's all I got.
All right, and I appreciate you, Sam, and Florida Impact. Thank you again for agreeing to partner for the recipe contest, as well as for joining us on the Facebook Live today. Thank you again, Esther, for that beautiful recipe. I can't wait to try it, and congratulations again. And just a heads up to our community. August is National Breastfeeding Awareness Month, in which this year's theme is Every Step of the Way, with a focus on importance to continuity of care. Breastfeeding advocates and community partners throughout Miami-Dade County are also coming together to host 2021 Breastfeed Miami to celebrate and build a strong breastfeeding support network. So this includes the Colors of Breastfeeding photo shoot this Friday, the virtual Big Latch On event Saturday, August 7th from 9:45 a.m. to noon. And we're still registering for that. The Art of Breastfeeding exhibition on Saturday, August 21st from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we're still accepting artwork for the call to artists. We already have beautiful artwork submitted, and that will be on display to celebrate the diversity of breastfeeding. And you can find more of this information on the Consortium for the Healthier Miami-Dade's website and register. And Jesse Trice and Wick are also celebrating by featuring a special guest on Friday, August 27th, which is in the heart of Black Breastfeeding Week at 3:00 p.m. during our virtual Breastfeeding Cafe peer support group. So thank you for joining us today. If you're catching this after the fact, just thank you for tuning in. I hope you received something. Thank you, Sam, again. Thank you, Esther, again. Thank you, our community. We'll catch you next week at Tuesday at 3 p.m. for our weekly health and wellness series, and have a good rest of your day.